Welcome to Extraordinary Creatives. I'm Kerry Hand, 35 years as a gallerist, curator and institutional director, now coaching artists and creative leaders to build creative lives that reward them. 2 episodes a week on audio and video, an honest conversation with an extraordinary creative about their work and their life, and a shorter deep dive into the mindset and strategy questions creative people actually face. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. Hello. This episode is part of a 9-part series on commissions, how to prepare for them, respond to them, deliver them, and crucially, how to stop them burning you out. If you haven't followed the podcast yet, please hit follow so you don't miss an episode. Today is episode 4 of 9, and this is where the series shifts gears. An inquiry just landed in your inbox, and before you finish reading it, your stomach has tightened, either through excitement or nerves. Your brain's already drafting a reply, and somewhere in the next 3 sentences, you're going to offer availability, ideas, enthusiasm, and a half-committed yes. This is the moment most artists get the commission wrong, not in the pricing or in the proposal, here, in the first 10 minutes when your nervous system takes the wheel and your professional self isn't quite in the room yet. For the last 3 episodes, we've done the preparation work, the mindset, the 5 signatures of underpricing, the commission ecosystem, and today the inquiry has arrived. And the principle is this. Before you reply with anything, you filter. Stage 1 of responding to any inquiry is the initial filter. Low friction, high signal, a sieve, not a conversation. The tool that does this work for you is a simple inquiry form. You could use it on your website. 5 to 7 questions, not an interrogation, a way of listening for seriousness. Let me give you the 7 questions I recommend, and crucially, what each one reveals. Question 1. Who is the main contact and what organisation are they connected to? This tells you who you're actually dealing with. An individual, a foundation, a developer, a local authority, a private collector, a corporate client. Each of those conversations goes differently. And each has a different kind of budget, a different decision-making structure, a different timeline. Question 2. What has prompted you to reach out now? This is the most revealing question on the list. The answer tells you whether there is a clear catalyst, a budget attached to a specific moment, a deadline, an anniversary, an opening, a commission being given as a gift, or whether the inquiry is vague, wishful, exploratory. Both are useful to know. Question 3. Where would the work live? Indoor, outdoor, public, private? Context shapes everything. A piece for a private home is a completely different commission from a piece for a public square, even if the object itself is similar. This question also tells you about scale, fabrication, complexity, and likely budget. Question 4. What drew you to my work specifically? This one filters beautifully. A client who can answer it with precision is a client who has done their homework. A client who struggles to answer it is a client who sent the same inquiry to 20 artists. Neither is a deal breaker, both are information. Question 5. What kind of experience or feeling are you hoping to create? This asks for the emotional intention. The answer tells you whether they've thought about the work or just the object. Clients who can answer this question tend to be clients who understand what commissioning actually is. Question 6. Do you have a rough budget range in mind? The single most useful question. You're not pinning them down, you're inviting them to be honest about what they can afford so that neither of you wastes the other's time. If they decline to answer, that's information. If they answer with a number that's nowhere near your tiers, that's also information. Question 7. What's your ideal timeline? Timelines are often unrealistic. Knowing early lets you recalibrate or walk away. That's it. 7 questions, and most serious clients will answer them in 10 minutes. Tire kickers won't bother, and that's exactly the point. You're listening for 4 things and their answers. Clarity about what they want, commitment to actually commissioning, taste that tells you they understand your work, budget awareness that suggests they've thought realistically about cost. And if those signals are weak, you slow things down. You don't ghost them, but you don't rescue them. You reply politely with more questions or with a signpost to the FAQs on your website. You don't yet invite them into your time. Only when the inquiry shows those 4 signals do you move forward to stage 2 of the response. The chemistry call. The call is the first point in the process where you and the prospective client are in a live conversation. 30 minutes, no longer. This is the critical reframing. The call isn't a sales call. It's a chemistry call, a fit test. You're quietly asking 3 questions to yourself throughout the conversation. Can I trust them? Will they respect the process? Do they understand what they're buying? Your job on the call is 4 things. Reflect back what you've heard. Take what they've said in the inquiry form and play it back to them, slightly sharpened. This does 2 things. It confirms that you've listened and it lets them refine their own understanding of what they want. Introduce your small, medium and large options, not as a price list, as a way of describing how different kinds of engagement work with you. The small tier tends to be this kind of project. The large tier looks more like this. Most commissioners sit somewhere in the middle. You're giving them a language for placing themselves. Then you gently anchor expectations around budget and process. If their budget is under your small tier, the conversation ends kindly there. If their budget suggests medium, but their ambitions suggest large, you name that gently. What you're describing sounds like it'd sit in my large tier. Is that where you want us to be? Notice red flags. This is the part that most artists skip because of anxiety about income, which I totally get. But red flags look like this. Indecision that never resolves. Vagueness about who the work is actually for. Control issues that appear early. Requests that ignore what you've just told them. The partner or committee member who hasn't been mentioned but who'll have final sign-off. The sentence, I just need to check with, 3 times in one call. The phrase, we'd love to use this as a showcase for your practice, which usually means they want a discount or to do it for free. Again, none of those are deal breakers on their own, but all of them are information and you file them for later. After the call, if you're proceeding, there's one more step before anything gets priced, and it's the step that prevents 70% of future problems. The alignment document, a short written document that confirms in writing what you heard. Not a proposal, not a quote, an alignment document. It contains 6 things. Project intention, what the client is actually trying to achieve with this commission. Context, where the work will live. Scale direction, which tier this is moving towards. Budget bracket, a range, not a specific number yet. And timeline, when they're hoping for delivery. Level of involvement, how much they want to be part of the process. You send this as a short email attachment, usually no more than a page, and you ask them to confirm it or to come back with amendments. Why does this matter so much? Well, because the client's understanding and your understanding are, at this point, usually slightly different. Not by much, but it can be enough. The alignment document surfaces that difference while it's still cheap to fix. 6 weeks later, when you're already making, it's an expensive fix. Now it's free. So if the client confirms the alignment document, you move forward. If they come back with significant amendments, you notice. Significant amendments at this stage might suggest that you misunderstood each other in the call, and it's better to notice now than in month 3. So before next week, I've got 2 pieces of homework for you. 1, draft your 7-question inquiry form. Even if your website is not ready to host it yet, write the questions, sit with them, decide whether they're listening for the right 4 signals for your work. 2, Write a one-page alignment document template. The 6 headings ready to be populated the next time you finish a chemistry call. Having it drafted now means that when the next call ends, the follow-up document takes 10 minutes instead of an hour. Next week, in episode 5, we're going to move into the part of the process where most artists lose money. What happens after the chemistry call goes well and the client says yes. The 3 stages where the commission becomes real and professional, the paid concept development, and why this single shift can transform your entire practice. The proposal presentation and the production agreement, which is your second contract and the one that makes the making calm instead of chaotic. If you don't want to miss it, hit follow or subscribe now so it lands in your feed automatically. And if this episode has been useful, please share it with one other person who needs to hear it. And don't forget, for a text version of today's episode, plus new practical guidance every week, you can subscribe to my newsletter. It's free. Beat the block at kerryhand.com/subscribe. Link is in the show notes. And drop me a message and tell me which red flag you recognise from a past commission. I read everything. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Thank you for spending this time with me. If something in this episode landed for you, please share it with one person who needs to hear it. Come and find me on Instagram at kerryhand, that's CERIHAND, and join thousands of creatives reading my weekly newsletter at kerryhand.com/subscribe for practical advice you can use this week straight to your inbox every Friday. Until then, keep making the work that only you can make.